Welcome everyone to the Reliable Prepper channel. Today, we're diving deep into an advanced bugging and guide for urban preppers. In a world where uncertainty is the only certainty, being prepared for any eventuality is not just an option, it's a necessity. We're not talking about the zombie apocalypse here, folks. We're addressing real-world urban crises that can strike at any moment. Natural disasters, civil unrest, pandemics, they can turn our lives upside down in an instant. In this comprehensive guide, we'll be covering a whole host of topics, from home fortification and supply management to communication and waste management. We'll also touch upon scenario-based tips and delve into some advanced hacks that could potentially be life-saving. Remember, being prepared doesn't mean you're paranoid, it means you're proactive. So buckle up, grab a notebook, and get ready to take some notes. Prepare to be prepared, folks. Let's get started. First things first, let's talk about fortifying your home. With the unpredictability of urban crises, your home needs to be your sanctuary, your fortress. So how do we make it one? Let's start with the doors and windows. These are your home's first line of defense. Reinforce them. Use metal doors with multiple deadbolt locks. To beef up the strength of your windows, consider security films or laminates. They can hold the glass together even when shattered, keeping the bad guys out. But what if you're a handy type? Well, there's a DIY method for you. For doors, you can install a security bar or a door barricade. For windows, you can create your own security screens with a sturdy frame and wire mesh. Remember, the goal here is not just to protect your home from the outside, but also to make it harder for anyone to leave unnoticed. Now let's move on to the heart of the home, the safe room. This is your final stand, your last line of defense. It should be a room with no windows, reinforced walls, and a solid door with heavy-duty locks. Stock it with emergency supplies, water, food, medical kits, and means of communication. But don't forget, a fortress is not just about keeping people out, it's also about having multiple layers of defense and emergency exits. So, make sure you have secondary exits in your home that you can use in a pinch. These could be windows that are easy to open or doors that lead directly outside. Just remember, these exits should be just as secure as your main entrances. Lastly, consider additional security measures. Motion sensor lights, security cameras, alarm systems. These all add extra layers of protection, making your home a less attractive target for would-be intruders. Remember, a strong defense is your best defense. So take the time now to secure your home. It's an investment in peace of mind, knowing you've done everything you can to protect yourself and your loved ones. Next up, managing your supplies. It's a critical aspect of bugging in that deserves your utmost attention. Now let's dive right in. First and foremost, water is the essence of life, so ensuring a sufficient supply is paramount. Consider storing water in food-grade containers and remember to replace it every 6 months. Rainwater collection systems can also be a viable option for urban preppers. Moving on to food storage, a smart approach is to stock up on non-perishable items that your family actually enjoys eating. Canned goods, dry pasta, rice, and beans are all excellent choices. Don't forget to consider special dietary needs, and remember, variety is the spice of life, even in a crisis. Now, when it comes to power supply solutions, having multiple options is key. Solar panels and wind turbines can provide renewable energy, while generators offer a more immediate solution. Just remember, fuel supplies can run out, so consider power conservation strategies too. Medical supplies are another crucial part of your stockpile. A well-stocked first aid kit can literally be a lifesaver. Include essentials like bandages, antiseptics, and over-the-counter medications. But don't forget about prescription medications if applicable. Keeping an inventory of your supplies and rotating stock is a must. This ensures that nothing goes out of date and gets wasted. It's also a good idea to calculate your supply needs based on your family size and the duration you expect to be bugging in. Always plan for at least a month, but the longer, the better. While it may seem like a lot to consider, just remember, the key to successful supply management is organization and foresight. Think about what your family needs, plan accordingly, and stay diligent about maintenance and rotation of your supplies. And there you have it, folks. A solid foundation for managing your supplies in an urban bugging-in scenario. As always, the goal is to be prepared, not scared. Efficient supply management can make all the difference during a crisis. Now let's switch gears and talk about communication. In the midst of chaos and uncertainty, communication is not just a matter of comfort, but of survival. It allows us to share crucial information, coordinate efforts, and maintain a sense of community when the world around us seems to be falling apart. One of the most reliable ways to communicate during a crisis is radio communication. This technology has stood the test of time and can operate independently of our modern, vulnerable infrastructure. Ham radios in particular are a prepper's best friend. They can transmit and receive signals over long distances, and their use can be learned with a bit of practice and patience. It's important to familiarize yourself with the basics of ham radio operation before a crisis hits. Learn the common frequencies used in your area and how to tune into them. Practice transmitting and receiving messages. Remember, this isn't just about talking. It's about listening too. You never know when a crucial piece of information might come through the airwaves. Next, establish a network of contacts. This could be a group of like-minded preppers in your area, or simply your neighbors. Design a communication plan that outlines who will contact whom, at what times, and on what frequencies. This ensures that everyone stays in the loop and that no one is left in the dark. But communication isn't just about the exchange of practical information. It's also about maintaining morale and ensuring the safety of your group. In a crisis, fear and uncertainty can be as dangerous as any physical threat. Regular communication can help to alleviate these feelings. It reminds us that we're not alone, that others are facing the same challenges, and that by working together, we can overcome them. In conclusion, effective communication is a vital part of any prepper's toolkit. It enables us to stay informed, coordinate our efforts, and keep our spirits up when times are tough. So, invest in a good ham radio, learn how to use it, and establish a network of contacts. Staying connected is crucial even when the world is falling apart. Let's delve into something often overlooked: waste management. In a crisis scenario, proper handling of sanitation and waste disposal is critical. It's not the most glamorous topic, but it's one that could mean the difference between survival and disaster. Think about it. In a prolonged emergency, your usual waste disposal methods may no longer be available. Without adequate waste management, you'll soon be dealing with unpleasant odors and unsanitary conditions. This could attract pests, from insects to rodents, which brings us to our next point: disease prevention. Pests can spread diseases quicker than you might think. In a crisis, you don't want to add a health emergency to your list of concerns. A proper waste disposal plan could help you avoid this. So, what does a good waste management plan look like for an urban prepper? It starts with separating your waste. Organic waste like food scraps can be composted. This not only reduces the amount of waste you need to dispose of, but also provides you with nutrient-rich soil for any indoor or outdoor gardens you might have. Non-organic waste, on the other hand, requires careful storage and disposal. Consider investing in sturdy, sealable containers that can keep odors in and pests out. Regularly clean these containers to prevent bacteria buildup. Next, consider your human waste. If your sewage system is out of action, you'll need an alternative. A simple solution is a bucket toilet, lined with a biodegradable bag. After each use, cover the waste with a layer of sawdust, lime, or ash to control odor and flies. When the bag is about 2/3 full, it can be sealed and disposed of appropriately. Remember, hygiene is paramount. Hand washing with soap and clean water should be non-negotiable after handling waste. If water is scarce, use hand sanitizer. In a pinch, you can make your own with isopropyl alcohol and aloe vera gel. In conclusion, a well-planned waste management strategy is an essential part of any urban prepper's toolkit. It keeps your space clean, prevents the spread of disease, and helps maintain a sense of normalcy in challenging times. Good hygiene and waste management are keys to survival. Now we're going to tackle some scenario-specific tips. Let's start with natural disasters. Hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, these can all wreak havoc on your urban environment. So, what should you do before the event? First, weatherproof your home. Seal windows and doors, insulate your pipes, and don't forget to secure heavy furniture. You don't want grandma's antique china cabinet toppling over in an earthquake. Also, have an evacuation plan in place. You should know the quickest, safest route out of your home and your neighborhood. And don't forget to install flood barriers and anchor any tall items that could potentially cause damage or injury. During the disaster, your primary goal is to stay informed and identify safe zones in your home. Power usage should be managed wisely, so conserve as much as you can. And remember, it's crucial to maintain calm and make rational decisions under stress. Panic only exacerbates the situation. After the event, it's time to assess the damage. You may need to purify your water supply and coordinate aid with your neighbors or local authorities. If your home is severely damaged, think about creating a temporary shelter within your home. Next, let's talk about civil unrest. Preparation is key here. Fostering community ties can be beneficial. Your neighbors are your first line of defense and can provide assistance when needed. Secure your perimeter and maintain operational security, or OPSEC. Visible security measures can deter potential threats, but remember to keep a low profile to avoid drawing unnecessary attention. During the unrest, avoid confrontation wherever possible. Silent operations and readiness for defense are key. Also, think about strategies for conserving resources and extending your supplies. After the unrest, reconnaissance can be beneficial. Assess the stability of your area and re-establish contact with your network. Now let's move on to pandemic outbreaks. Preparation involves stocking up on quarantine supplies, implementing isolation measures, and figuring out supply delivery. The psychological aspects of long-term isolation can be challenging, so have coping strategies ready. During the outbreak, strict hygiene, health monitoring, and ensuring good ventilation in your home are crucial. I can't stress enough the importance of hygiene practices and monitoring symptoms. Post-outbreak, focus on decontamination and health surveillance. Stay informed about secondary outbreaks and new strains of the disease. Remember, every scenario requires a unique approach. The more prepared you are, the better you can adapt to whatever life throws your way. Preparedness isn't just about survival. It's about thriving in the face of adversity. So whether it's a natural disaster, civil unrest, or a pandemic, remember these tips and strategies. They could make all the difference when it matters most. Remember, every scenario requires a unique approach. Time for some advanced tips and tricks. Let's start with secret storage. It's not enough to just have supplies, you need to keep them safe and hidden. Consider hidden compartments in furniture, false walls, or even buried caches. Get creative. If you're handy with tools, you could build a secret drawer in a bookshelf or a hideaway behind a painting. Remember, the key is to keep these storage locations secret, even within your household. Next, let's talk about aquaponics systems. This is a fantastic way to have a fresh supply of fish and vegetables right in your home. It's essentially a mini ecosystem where fish and plants help each other grow. It might sound complicated, but with a basic setup guide, you'll have your own indoor farm before you know it, and the benefits are worth it. Fresh food, water conservation, and it's a great learning tool for kids too. Just make sure to maintain and troubleshoot your system regularly. Now let's look at heat management. In a crisis, maintaining indoor temperature is crucial for comfort and survival. Thermal curtains and insulation can be your best friends here. You can install thermal curtains on your windows to keep the heat in during winter and out during summer. Insulating your home effectively can also help a lot. And don't forget about dressing appropriately and using layers to conserve body heat. Moving on to fuel storage. Whether you're storing gasoline for generators or propane for stoves, safety should be your top priority. Make sure to store fuel in approved containers and keep them in a well-ventilated area away from living spaces. Also, calculate your fuel needs and manage your usage efficiently. You don't want to run out of fuel in the middle of a crisis. Last but not least, emergency drills. You might have the best plans in the world, but they're useless if you and your household don't practice them. Regularly run through emergency scenarios and assign roles to each member of your household. It's important to review and update your emergency plans regularly too. Practice makes perfect, and in this case, it could make the difference between chaos and survival. With these advanced tips, you'll be one step ahead when disaster strikes. All right, folks, let's wrap things up. We've taken quite the journey together today, diving deep into the world of urban preparedness. From fortifying our homes against potential threats, to managing our supplies efficiently, and maintaining effective communication channels, we've covered a lot of ground. We talked about the importance of having multiple layers of defense and emergency exits, and how to reinforce doors and windows with DIY methods. We also emphasized the need for efficient water storage, food storage, power supply solutions, and medical supplies, as well as rotating stock and keeping a detailed inventory. We discussed the crucial role of radio communication in establishing a network of contacts and maintaining morale and safety during a crisis. We also delved into the nitty-gritty of handling sanitation and waste disposal to avoid attracting pests and preventing disease. We explored scenario-based tips for different crises, be it a natural disaster, civil unrest, or a pandemic outbreak. We stressed the importance of staying informed, making rational decisions under stress, maintaining operational security, practicing strict hygiene, and staying prepared for secondary outbreaks and new strains. And let's not forget the advanced tips and hacks we shared. From creating secret storage areas and setting up an indoor aquaponics system, to managing heat effectively, storing fuel safely, and regularly practicing emergency drills, we've given you a comprehensive guide to becoming a capable and confident urban prepper. Remember, preparedness is not about fear, but about empowerment. It's about taking control of your safety and your life and being ready to face whatever challenges may come your way. It's a continuous journey, not a destination, so keep learning, keep improving, and keep adapting. Thank you for tuning in to the Reliable Prepper channel. Your dedication to preparedness is what keeps this community strong and resilient. Stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you next time.